Hello and welcome back to Farawa. The time is 8:41 p.m. on December 27th. I am not tired yet, but my family has gone to sleep. I thought it would be nice to do some quiet late-night baking. Let's light some candles for a cozy mood. While I bake, I'm going to set these to boil. My parents recently gave me these little reusable hand warmers, and I used them all on the first day. They just have to be boiled until they soften up and the liquid clears. This is a cookbook my dad gave my mom about New England cooking. I saw a chocolate chip recipe, so I wanted to try it out. But we have to make sure that we're quiet. Let's see what the candles look like with the lights off. A little too dark for baking, plus I've got to clean the counter and I want to be able to see if it is cleaned well. Now, just to increase the coziness, I am going to make some tea. I'm just going to rinse out the cup and then fill it with water. The hot water screams sometimes after it is done. I would love some black tea with milk, but because it is night, I am looking for decaf. It doesn't seem like we have any, so I will just have the black tea. I'll be baking for a while, so I don't need to get super sleepy. Time to place these into the pot. They look very cute and cozy in there. I am not sure how long they take. It has been about 3 minutes and they are looking pretty good. Time to add more, and I will let them sit as I start prepping. First we have to have some yummy eggnog. Next I am putting down a cloth just to keep the book nice. Now it is time to gather the ingredients. Alrighty, now that we have all of the ingredients out, let's preheat the oven before we start to mix. Time to assemble the supplies, and let's begin. I had planned to wear headphones during this and listen to music, but I had wanted to hear how loud I was being just in case I woke my family, and quickly the quiet became quite nice. From this angle, it almost is as though you are a little mouse on the counter and I am baking for you. I hope you like my baking. Time to check on the stove to see how this batch is going. They look pretty good. Now it's time to grind and measure some salt. I'm getting a little warm, which is good because one of the reasons I decided to start baking here is because I was cold. This is where I did not follow the recipe. In all of the chocolate chip cookie recipes I have tried, which are very few, they always say to cream the butter cold, or at least room temperature, but I usually partially melt it in the microwave. I didn't mean to melt it this much. I didn't want to be loud with an electric mixer, and the hand mixing always gets so messy and takes a long time, but that's probably my fault. Maybe I should try it sometime though, and get better at it. And be patient too. After mixing the dry ingredients, in another bowl I am mixing the butter and sugars now. I spilled a bit of the sugar onto the book, but I brushed it off. I'm putting the flour into a smaller bowl so I can put the wet batter in there and then gradually add the dry batter. I have found this leads to fewer clumps of dry batter after mixing than adding the wet batter on top of all the dry. After slowly adding the flour to the wet ingredients and mixing it all together, according to the recipe, it is time to add the vanilla. Now, after mixing it in, the batter smells so nice and sweet. It's finally time to add the last and best ingredient, chocolate chips. I just realized there is still a lot of salt in the cup. Better put that back in the container. Might as well add the rest. The dough looks really good and tastes great too, but don't eat raw flour or eggs, especially in large quantities. At last, it is time to put the batter onto the tray. I'm just putting a bit of olive oil into the scoop so that the dough won't stick to it too much. I'm very much looking forward to see how these turn out. Alright, let's put them in the oven and see. In the meanwhile, time to clean up. All of my reusable hand warmers are done and ready to use again. I checked after about halftime, and they were looking a little puffy, but that's okay. After a little while longer, it came time to take them out. The bottoms looked like they cooked pretty nicely. The tops were a little bit pale, so I was worried they were underdone, but I think they're okay. I put in a smaller second batch as well on a higher shelf. Unfortunately, I think their puffiness can probably be attributed to my change in butter handling from the recipe, as they have turned out like this pretty much every time I make cookies. But I will try again later. For now, these are still pretty good. Well, that is all. I hope you enjoyed baking with me on this quiet, late winter night. And I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye for now from Farawa.